everyone. Okay, so a while ago I posted a photo of my overnight pickles that I'd made and how much we love them. And I think someone was like, do the recipe. So not only do I have overnight pickles that I'm gonna do, I have pickles that I've been fermenting and I should have gone back to them. And they've been there for weeks. But if they're fermented, they should be okay, right? So I've got to do a follow-up of that and see how those are going. But right now, I'm just going to do an easy overnight pickle recipe, I guess refrigerator pickles, and I'm using cucumbers from my garden, and I've been trying to do this for like at least a week, so some of my cucumbers have disappeared in salads. I've got a couple little ones, a couple of the smaller ones are even, you know, I got to get rid of that one, but I'm going to use what I have, and the good thing is because you can add to the jar because they're overnight pickles as opposed to fermented, or what's the other, when you like put them in when they're in the hot bath and you've sealed your jar. So whatever. This jar you can open, add more to, or eat as much as you want. And basically I'm going to use some dill, I'm going to use some garlic because I'd like these to be garlicky. I asked my daughter if she wanted me to put a serrano pepper in there, and she said no, so we're not going to do that. And salt, water, vinegar. It's not too hard, guys. Let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do, guys, is we're going to start with getting our mixture into the pan here, a saucepan. It's going to be equal parts water and vinegar. And because I don't quite have as much pickles or cucumbers as I did the first time I did this, I'm just going to do a 1 cup water, 1 cup vinegar. Now we're going to add some salt. You can use the pink Himalayan sea salt, but you'll see when I show you guys my other fermented pickles, it seems to take a long time to dissolve, and it gives a pink tinge to the water. So what I'm going to do is just use plain old iodized table salt instead. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do 2.5 teaspoons of salt. Oh, that's almost that, isn't it? Okay. 2.5 teaspoons. Let me get this on. And then you're also going to need 2 teaspoons of sugar. Okay. You want a bit of this sugar to offset the tartness of the vinegar without making this too sweet. Now you can always, of course, as you dissolve this, taste this. Do you want more salt? Do you need to add anything to this? I think what I'm going to do is just put into my jar my dill, my garlic, and maybe a few peppercorns. I'm just going to basically dissolve that, get that warm, dissolve it, let it sit for a bit, and get it into the jar. So now it's time to wash and slice your pickles. So I'm just going to take about like a palm full of dill, and I'm going to wash that, and I'm going to put it into my jar. And I'm taking, since I don't mind the garlicky flavor, I've got a couple big cloves and then another little smaller one that came apart with that. So I'm going to peel off the skin, and I'm going to cut these into probably like just quarters and put in the jar. So I'll be back. Okay, so you're going to just put your dill in your jar, and like I said, I'm just gonna cut this like that, just so as it's in the brine, some of the flavor obviously of the garlic will come out a little more easily when it's cut. I don't know if I need more dill. I might add a little bit more. And let's taste this brine. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you just have to take my word for it, guys, if you haven't tried this. It dissolves so much more easily when you are using regular table salt. The Himalayan sea salt just takes a lot more time. Ooh, nice. Okay, nice flavor, liking that. Yeah, not too salty. I could almost see having a tiny bit more salt. But it's okay. Actually, I'll probably
So I'm just adding about another half teaspoon to make that 1 tablespoon of salt.
Okay, the other thing you're gonna do, guys, is you're just gonna add a tiny bit of turmeric for some color. And when I say tiny, I'm just putting a couple little dabs of the turmeric right there. And you can just give that a mix. And I've turned my stove off. I'm gonna take it off and let it sit and cool as I get my pickles prepared, as I get my cucumbers prepared. Okay, good. Yeah, yum. Okay, so these little ones here, I'm just gonna cut the edge off, the stem, and I'm just gonna put them right in the jar. I'm gonna cut both of these edges off here. Okay. And this one, I'll decide. This is another little tiny one, so I'm going to put that in as well. Now you're going to take these, and you can, obviously, I'm going to take this stem off here. This is the part that's attached to the vine. And I'm just going to cut that off a little bit, and I'm just going to slice these up. Okay. I don't know, 1/4 inch thick. This particular cucumber is a little funky looking, but I'm gonna get these sliced up. I'll be back. Okay, and I think this one I'm going to just cut into into 2. Or quarters. Alright, so guys, they can be whatever shape you want. You can cut them in circles, or you can cut them in like long spears or whatever. So this is actually probably more than I thought I was going to have, but you're going to take your cucumbers and you're going to stuff them into your jar or jars. You can have, the only thing you're going to need to do is possibly have more brine if you have more jars. I do have more jars, but I feel like this is going to be perfect to fit into one jar. You're going to want to stuff it all in here. Okay, so I've got them all stuffed in there. And I'm just going to try to get some of my peppercorns in there. Okay. And I'm just going to let this water cool down a little bit more before I add it. And that's all there is, guys. You're going to add that, put it in the fridge, maybe let it wait a couple of days before you actually try it. Just going to let this cool a little bit more where it's not fully hot but also not cold. And yeah, got lots of dill in there, got my garlic, and this is just one jar. I want to buy more cucumbers and make more. My daughter loves these. And I'll be back. Okay, I think that this is cool enough while still being a little warm. And I'm just going to fill my jar. And I have extra if I were to make more. Maybe I'll put that off somewhere. Maybe buy a couple more cucumbers tomorrow. I have a smaller jar that I could put a smaller amount in. But that's all there is to it, guys. Okay, so the little bit of turmeric kind of gives it a little color in there. As you can see, I already want to eat them, but I've got to wait. I'm just going to put them in the fridge, give it a couple days, and then go in and start snacking. So my daughter's been asking me for a while to make pickled onions. So because I have the leftover brine, guys, I'm gonna I got some pickled red onions. I got some red onions, I've put them in this jar, and I just heated up the brine just to, if that's what needs to happen, but I'm gonna let it cool down and put it in there. So we'll taste this in a couple days and see if my daughter likes these pickled red onions. I could probably put a bit more in here. Maybe I will. So it's been a couple of days, guys, and you see the little The turmeric just kind of gave it a slight yellowish tinge, just the slightest. And that's what they look like. Let me open this up. And which one do I want to grab? Let's grab this one right here. Okay, so you see I've got a mix though. I've got like a couple of the baby ones here too. Anyway, let's taste. Hear the crunch and taste the deliciousness. My daughter loves these. She prefers these to store-bought ones, so they don't last. She just eats them. I gave them to my mom, who said she doesn't really like pickles. They were gone. Because between my mother and my sister was over, and she also ate them and said, I love these pickles. So these are great. Make them, slice them how you like them. Add spice to this if you want. You can change up your seasonings, but let me know, guys. And they're ready, basically. You know, I'd give it a couple days, but you could snack on one the next day as well. So that is all for now. And we'll see how the onions are. That's what my daughter's been asking for. But, you know, put them on maybe a Beyond sausage or something or whatever else. It's super easy to do some pickling, guys. See you in the next video.